3-slot mystical gear. Black Desert Mobile alluded to this coming in next week's patch. In this video, I'm going to cover 3-slot gear, how you can get your hands on it, how much it costs, is it worth it, should you invest? We're going to cover all that. That is the 8 billion silver question. If this is your first time to my channel, you are missing out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the like on this video. You won't be disappointed. With that being said, let's dive right in. Before we get into the 3-slot gear, we're going to cover how to get your hands on the 1-slot Grunnel gear. I know I made a video on it. I'm just going to be brief. In order to get your hands on the 1-slot Grunnel, you need to craft 3 2-slot pieces of gear, which means you need 9 1-slots in order to craft 1 piece of Grunnel. So I, of course, was curious as to how much this would cost. So if you got 9 1-slot pieces of gear for every single slot, main hand, offhand, helmet, armor, gloves, boots, and this is market cost average as of right now. Now this is going to fluctuate over the next week because people are going to be buying up this orange gear pretty dramatically. I mean, the market's getting pretty flush as is. So this is the market rate as of right now. If you bought every single piece of gear from the market, it's going to cost you 2,655,000,000 silver to craft a full set of Liberto, Rosar, and Grunnel piece of gear. Now, that's just if you had the 2-slot Grunnels, the 2-slot Liberto, and Rosar. So now that you know how much it costs for a full 2 set of Grunnel, Liberto, and Rosar, you have to figure out how many 2 or 1 slots it's going to take. So it takes 9 1-slots to make 1 piece of Grunnel. It takes 3 of those to make a 3-slot Grunnel. So that's 27 for 1 full piece. 27, that's 6 pieces in total. That's 162 1-slots that you're going to need to make a full set of 3-slot pieces of gear. That's how many 1-slots it takes, and that's how much it costs to make a full set of 2-slot Grunnel. How do you get the 3-slot Grunnel? Well, the same way you make the 2-slot Grunnel. You need 3 2-slot Grunnels, like I just said. It costs 1,139 residue as well, so make sure you stockpile that residue if you do plan on going this route. You can make this in the forge. These will not be dropping from Shakatu from what I hear, so you're only going to be able to craft this. So stockpiling Shakatu coins for these bad boys, from what I hear, is not worth it. Maybe you can stockpile them anyways just to be safe, because who knows what they might do with our global version. So now I know for all that cost, you're probably like, man, that thing probably has some badass CP. So it actually starts off with the same stats, 4% crit or whatever it is on that specific piece of gear, with its boots, its movement speed, etc. For its base stats, the 2-slot Grunnel starts off at 55 CP, and the 3-slot Grunnel starts off at 58 CP. So you get 1 extra crystal slot, 3 extra CP for an extra few billion silver. Now, when it's fully leveled, it does give you about 10 CP, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But even if it's 10 CP, with 6 pieces of gear, that's an extra 60 CP. With your crystal slots that you could pull an extra 6, let's say you get 8 CP times 6, that's 36 extra CP. You're getting pretty much 100 CP for an 8 billion silver cost. I mean, essentially is what it's coming down to. Even if you take away the cost of your current Grunnel, I mean, if you have a full set now, that's an extra 6 billion silver just to swap from 2-slot Grunnel to 3-slot Grunnel. I mean, it's a 6 billion silver variance. It's just nuts. Let's take a look at the actual numbers again. And for the market average cost for a main hand, it's 50 million. And this is as of right now. Next week, it's going to be a lot higher than this. I can tell you that for sure. The offhand is going to be 55 million, 45 million for the helmet, 55 million for the armor, 45 and 45 for the gloves and boots, which is costing you 295 million average cost if you purchased 1 of each. If you did that 27 times, it's going to be 1,350,000,000 for the hand, 1,485 for the offhand, and you guys can see the rest of those, which is going to be a total cost of just under 8 billion silver if you started from scratch, didn't get any from Shakatu, and had to buy every single 1-slot from the market. Is it worth it? At the end of the day, getting your hands on a piece of red gear is next to impossible. Sure, you could place a bid on the marketplace and hope to win a bid. I mean, you'd have to place a bid for like 1.72 billion silver to try to win a red, and technically it's about the same cost as a 3-slot orange, if you bought it from the market. However, the abundance of reds is obviously, vacant. There's not very many of them. So the only other option you have is the 3-slot Gruntle if you want to be at the best for the piece of gear that you're at right now, for what you can get. You want to be the best for what you can get. And technically, it is. It's giving you an extra crystal slot. If you times that by 6, that's an extra 24% branch damage. And yes, another 100 CP. Now, it is going to obviously give you the chance to get more CP based off of the branch damage. You might even have a higher chance of the enchant on that piece of gear being at a higher level than what they are on the 2 slots. So instead of it being 15, or 12, maybe you can get it to the reds like they are at 15, etc. Something like that. Make it more worth it so you can pump a little bit more CP out of these bad boys. But at the end of the day, if you want to clear endgame content, you're going to end up wanting to get it anyways. It's going to give you more branch damage. It's going to give you more CP. You can maybe hold off on buying 1 or 2 pieces and try to get reds in place of that. I know I'll be going for the 3-slot Gruntle because I don't plan on getting any reds. If I happen to get a red at some point down the road, awesome. But I'm definitely going to be still going for this piece of gear because it is best in slot. I want to make sure I at least have the best that I can get. A lot of people have been asking me about these Awakening/Ascension exchange tickets. You get them when you ascend your Dark Knight. So only on the Dark Knight do you get them for some odd reason. They made it for when you ascend the Dark Knight. You get these Awakening/Ascension exchange coupons. And what you could do with them is you can actually, once you, let's say you have ascended your Dark Knight or your Reaper, or I'm sorry, your Sorceress, or whatever class you've ascended. And when Awakening comes out, you want to swap to Awakening. Well, the only way to swap those weapons is with these coupons. It takes 1 coupon, they gave us 2. So you'll be able to swap your weapon and offhand weapon from whatever it is now to whatever Awakened class that you will have. That's going to be coming out down the road, so that is a good sneak peek to give you guys a heads up. I know a lot of people were asking what to do with those. So I know a lot of people, including myself, thought that the pink gear was coming next. And there is 2 different pink gear options. There's a 2-slot and a 3-slot pink gear option. The 3-slot pink gear option, all of the options are only farmable through either boss rushes, I believe it's boss rushes, or throughout the world map, whether it's Valencia when that opens up, but I do believe it's boss rushes. So once those open up, you'll be able to farm the material to craft these. The pink gear is not farmable from Shakatu, so you can't roll it, unlike the red gear. The pink gear stats come at 58, which is the same as Gruntle, at 4% crit, the same as Gruntle, and 3 crystal slots. So it's literally the exact same gear, just called different. So maybe that's why they didn't unlock this piece of gear, because it's the same exact as the 3-slot Gruntle. Maybe they're going to change this up when it comes to global. They do like to have a lot of variances between KR and global, so that way it's harder to figure out what we're getting and when we're getting it. But that is the 3-slot pink gear. Black Desert Mobile giving us the Easter egg that 3-slot gear was coming next week is huge. Whether you plan on getting this piece of gear or not, it's very important that you take advantage of this prior notice. What does that mean? That means that orange gear is going to be gone. It's going to be off of the market. You're not going to see anything. I promise you, you're not going to see even 1-slot gear on the market starting next week. If you're smart, you'll take advantage of it now while this gear is cheap. If you buy the gear now, it's only 8 billion silver. If you wait till next week, you're going to spend over 10 billion silver for this full set of gear. It is cheaper now than it will ever be. Remember, a full slot of 2-slot Gruntle costs 2.655 billion silver on the market rate right now. If you wait, next week it's going to be 3.5 billion silver, I promise you. Same thing holds true for all the full set of 3-slot gear. Now you also want to make sure you're prepared and have crystals to go into these bad boys for your class, the proper branch damage, whatever it might be. I know it is a lot of silver, but preparing for, like, let's say you don't even want the gear. You buy all of the armor, helmet. You have 500 million silver. You buy all of you spend every last penny you have. You wait until next week, and then you post it like Thursday of next week. You wait 1 or 2 days for the market to fluctuate and the prices to go to max bid. Then you sell it for max bid. So you're going to buy it right now for 45 million or 50 million silver. Next week, you're going to sell it for 75, 80 million silver, and you're going to make profits. It's not going to be a ton, but it will be profits. That's everything for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you do, make sure you hit that like button. And with that being said, I will see you next time.